Well, good evening, ladies and gentlemen. The human comedy makes a change. We're doing the Deep Forest race today with a completely different car. We've not used this one before. In fact, I only won it the other day off a lottery ticket. So the car will be the Lancer Evo Final Group B road car. It's on racing hards and it's pretty much default, except for a couple of modifications I've made. We've put in the racing gearbox, and we've also put on a rear wing, and we've also put on the rear bumper. There aren't many other modifications you can do. We've changed the wheel size so that we've got more rubber. We've changed it to the smallest possible diameter. I think it's like a 17, could be a 19, but I think it's the 17. It's the smallest size, whichever one it is. Fully customizable racing gearbox set to 270, rear wing set to 384. There's nothing else you can do to change it other than we increase body rigidity on the right hand side. The car comes in pretty naturally around the 620 pp mark. We have actually put on the torque vectoring center differential, and we're going to run it in the race fully at 50/50. The tyres will cope with it. So with that, let's go straight to the track. So here we are, folks, we've made it to the track. Settings for the race today will be assists, traction control 1, default ABS, everything else off, and manual gears. And then the controller settings will be controller sensitivity 0, torque feedback 5, feedback sensitivity 5. Button configuration open, no modifications on there. Let's have a look at the ranking board. So we've got 38 laps. Kevin Maguire up there with a cappuccino. I can't drive this setup. I've tried it. Don't work for me. He's put 40 laps in. Iceman at the top there, called him Iron Man on a previous video. Shouldn't do that. He's actually got with a 458 Italia on 38 laps. Very good. Well done. We were in there with the Radical, which is pretty much a race car. Alex with the WRX GR4 is also pretty much a race car. Another race car lap, the GR Super on 37 laps. So we've done well to stretch to 38 laps. The question is, can the Lancer Evo 4-wheel drive, 473 brake horsepower, make it that far? The only way it's alright is to find out, folks, I guess. So we'll get into this and then I'll do the confession. Here we are then, let's go. Just got to make some adjustments, make sure we're right. So fuel map on 1, brake balance to the rear, and then torque distribution 50/50. Back down to fuel map. So the key with this race is to understand that Mr. Nostra out there at the front in the Porsche electric jobby, he is going to be rapido quick and he's going to race away at the front. And he will pit 3 times. We've raced this race enough times to understand that he will go away at the front. He will dominate this race. We have to catch him as quickly as we can and probably hit as little as possible. So if we could pit once and just be stationary, because the other side of this race is the fact that the refueling is so slow, it penalises you for refueling. So if you have a car with exceptional fueling, now, I know the RX-7 engine swap is pretty good, but it's just too slow. It can't make the cut. This car, however, has fuel issues. It likes to drink the fuel. If you look down there, 14.7 laps potential. In a moment, it's going to come to something like 13, I think, is what we might get out of it. If we can do 15 laps, that's fine. But what we then got a situation of is wearing tyres. Because we're going to let these hards burn away. We're going to sacrifice the tyres for lap speed because we know we've got a pit, so we might as well chuck new tyres on. So with that, we're not going to make half race difference of rate of 38 laps. We are going to be somewhere around well, if we're going to stop twice, we might as well split the difference and go 20 minutes, 20 minutes, 20 minutes. So stop twice. I would estimate that we need to do 13 laps, taking us to 26, and try and run 12 in the last stint to give us a total of 38 laps. And that would suggest that we've got to be out of the pits after 20 minutes for the first time round. So let's see where we go. We've missed quite a bit of commentary explaining the background to this, but we're already in 4th place, folks, and we're on lap 2 as we dive up the inside of Mr. Miazano. And that is actually a potential car we could use, that one. So we're now chasing Mr. Breyer, who's doing competitively well in his Alpine. We've already got, well, less than a minute at that point. It's a relatively fast lap time. Let's see if we can. We're actually with the Porsche in reality. We're only 5 seconds behind him. I wonder if he's going to try and pull away and get away from us. Let's see what happens. So if we're going to go in on 13 laps and try and refuel for 13 laps, there's a potential we can get a shorter first stop. Go up the inside here, Mr. Breyer, move over. Down to 4.9 seconds. He's actually pulling away. We've got a 33.3 in there. That's a relatively rapid lap time, you know, for this part of the race. And Mr. Breyer's giving us some head-to-toe stuff. Oh, he's just going to give us a little bit of a problem here. We're going to have to brake just to keep the car inside that outside of the track. There we go, we beat him out of it. First gear was our saviour there, so not the fastest first split because we couldn't take the tightest line, but here we go, we're pushing on. We'll talk our way round a lap fairly soon. We'll give you an idea of what we're doing, but there he is. To say the Porsche isn't romping away says that this car is actually really rapid. We're just going to spend these laps either chasing him or trying to get away, or even trying to get past him, to be honest. 3.1 seconds behind, so a 59.4 at the split is quite impressive. We need to be putting some solid laps in, I must admit. See if we can get some right good laps in. See if we can run 33s. See if we can get a 32. A 32 would be absolutely tip top. As the weight falls away from the fuel weight, we should be able to make massive strides, massive inroads, change up into 6th early, try and get the torque to push the engine through. We haven't got a turbo one, so this car's going to be quite breathless at the top end. But it does struggle around the 7,000 RPM mark. Let's keep going, come on. That was a 1:33.4, so that's pretty consistent early laps. See if we can purple sector as we get down here, that'd be nice. There it is, 2/10. He's got the one next to his name. We're going to have that hopefully soon. Just have to see how well he's going to chase away from us. If we can get him at a key point and ooh, just tapping the barrier there, that's not comfortable. We can get the draft off him, which I don't think we will here. I think he's got the power to get away. If we can force him to a point where he's going to use all his battery, that would also be awesome. I don't know how that will work. He might just let us go past. He's pulling away now up to 1.5 seconds almost. We're on the brakes though. Now for a big four-wheel drive car, this is quite nimble. It does find that hairpin just a little bit tight. Let's see if we can talk our way round a lap. Getting down this hill, we're going to change up to 6th early. We're going to look to get across the line, 150 mile an hour. See what we do. 1:33.5, that's not too bad. We're going to brake just after the 100. Second gear. Change to first to just stop the car, lift off the throttle to keep it on the green stuff. 1.8 seconds behind. Tap the brakes in 4th, down to 3rd. Use all the track. We're quicker than him through there. We've got that bit nicely done. But we're 2/10 down on our fastest sector there. First to try and hold the corner in tight. And chase him down up to 4th gear. Braking just before the crest. Don't want to go around the outside, that'll be suicide. We've got him on the inside though, beautifully done. Now we've got to make him chase us. That was a nicely done corner. We just touched his side though as we went past, so not 100% clean, but he's not come with us. That means he's on the edge of his battery level. He's managing his tyres, managing his batteries, managing everything. We are so rapido in this thing that we have a chance of breaking away. Come on, let's go. So this is lap 5. We're halfway through his first stint. He's going to stop in 5 laps time. If we can just add time on top of everything, we can just push him backwards, see if we can actually, our target would to get out in front of him at the end of our pit stop on lap 13. And if we can do that, that will save us another overtake, because he's going to pit and drop back to something like, oh, I'd say 7th place. If we drop back to something like 7th place, it just gives us the problem of fighting for actual positions. When we're overtaking the tail enders, they're going to try and get out your way. Admittedly, they don't always, but at some point they've got to move themselves out of the way. The guys in front, they can, when they're fighting for real positions, their own positions, they've got the ability and they've got the right to defend it. So we're just going to have to keep plodding on here. 3.5 seconds ahead. 58.9. Now that's a sorted split time there. I know if you're comparing it to things like the Red Bull, it's not going to be a phenomenal time, but this is just a road-going rally car, short gearbox by nature. So it's not going to have the legs at the top end. It's all about grunt and getting out of corners, and this car does that. The setup meant that we didn't have to limit it for any power. It's got everything it needs, it just hasn't got a turbo. There's a 32.9, so we're in the 32s. We need to try and keep the time in that region. We just need to push on. Don't really need any slow laps. Don't need any incidents or breakages or crashes or spins or penalties. If we can keep every lap as a 33 or less, we'll be making time. So let's just have a look at the tyres and an understanding of where they are. Fronts are really wearing, and we're on lap 7, so we're now halfway through our stint. We're going to pit for lap 13, end of, and we can't forget to do that, folks. We really can't forget, because that's trouble. That much we know. 5.8 seconds in the lead as we're going into the last corner on the back straight. We do hold the fastest lap, which was the last lap, as we said, at 1:32.981. Car's really stable, handles really well at speed. You'll have to excuse me, folks, I'm a little bit nasally today, got a bit of a cold, bit of a man cold. It's been cold around here for the last couple of days. We haven't had a massive amount of sun. I'm just a bit sniffy. I don't wish to be, but you can probably hear it on the sound, which is, I've been having terrible sound issues today. Updates on my sound equipment have really just messed everything up. So, as I probably said, did I say at the start, quick confession, I ran this race earlier, not perfectly, but I ran this race and it produced the result. I then went to played back the recording to edit it, and the sound was all over the place. You could hardly hear the engine, and all you had was my loud voice booming away over the top, and it wasn't acceptable. So I've chosen to do it again, and we'll probably miss a recording. I was going to do Alsace tonight, but as it's the update for the game tomorrow, I wanted to get everything done and in place so that we got the whole menu book completed. It's not the menu book, the whole mission completed, which I'd still like to do. I'll still see if I get that race done tonight, but it probably won't be posted. And then it comes on to the update for tomorrow, so as we just roll some laps, I'll talk about my emotions there. Big update day tomorrow. We're version 1.29, PSVR 2, which I think everybody knows about. The game is developing and it's advancing and it's becoming more PS5 reliant, really. I think what we're experiencing today is the death of the PS4 in terms of a GT7 platform. I've been using the PS4 and I found it to be a superb platform. I know graphically PS5 is better, but the PS4 does a tremendous job. When you've come through the ranks of PS1 and you've played GT1, you've come all the way through it, you've experienced absolutely stunning graphics. Every version of GT has been absolutely mind-blowing for me. It's got better and better and better and better. And I appreciate it's time to go to the PlayStation 5. So the one thing I was looking forward to wasn't necessarily looking forward to the PS2 VR, because I haven't got one, and I'm not going to be able to use one. I've got the original PSVR. But you can't use the original PSVR on Gran Turismo. You can if you want to play it in big window mode, which I might do that just to sake tomorrow, to be honest. But I found out today that Sophie's coming in the update and it's for PS5 only, and that's broke me a bit. I'm a bit really miffed about that. It was my fear that PS5 would need to have Sophie would need to have the PS5 to power it, and unfortunately that seems to be the case. And I was alright with the fact that PSVR would be a PS5 thing, but now I don't get to compete with the best AI possible, and that's just broke me a little bit. I'm really gutted today to find that out. But what we've got to do is get on with it, guys, and just move on. So I've just got to channel my efforts to get myself a PlayStation 5, and it won't be for some time because, like you know, I had a car accident earlier this week, so I've wrecked my car. I've got to get that repaired and back on the road, so that's where all my money's going. It's not as if it's an insurance thing. I've just got to, it's the money, it's got to be spent. So with that, I just don't know where the channel's going to go at this point in time, because I don't think anybody's going to want to watch PS4 content fairly soon. So I've got to channel my efforts, probably bite the bullet and buy a PS5. But hey ho, that's what we've got to do. Life moves on. I've got to realise that. So we're on lap 10. That's got us there. We're doing 1:33 still. We're absolutely putting rampers on this. 13 seconds ahead of the boy, Mr. Inostra. We're on lap 10 and he's about to go to the pits. So if we can be 15 seconds ahead when he goes in, we can then keep pushing on. He's going to be in traffic, so he's going to be slower. We've got to keep pushing on for another 3 laps, and we're going to pit at the end of lap 13. Even though it says we've got 6 more we can do, we're going to go to the end of 13, and we're going to take the ability to just have a shorter pit stop. So there's Inostra. He goes in right as we hit the apex of the corner at the end of the straight, and he's going to be stationary for something like 40 seconds. We will be stationary for something like 54 seconds for our refueling. But knowing that, we've just got to keep flowing, we've got to keep putting the pressure on, got to keep going. Here we go. And the first of the tail enders. Now I was expecting the first tail ender to be the Suzuki, which I believe is Mr. Van der Newell, is it? Oh, they're together. Well, it's Mr. Mahi and There, Mr. Mahi and Mr. Van der Heuvel. They are together, so we're going to have to try and take these boys in one go. We don't want them blocking us. We are 31 seconds ahead of Mr. Breyer, and they both blocked the apex. Let's get out of the way, boys. Come on. It should have gone wide. That's put them both behind us, but we don't need to be delayed by that. I don't really want this to be a 34. I want it to be a consistent 33, 33, 33. There it is, 33.4. That's not too bad. We just lost 0.2 of a second. Seconds in the lead ahead of Mr. Breyer. Now, as for other people's pit stop strategies, let's push on. 33.5 seconds. We're still making swift time. Seconds in the lead. Up into 6th early, and then we'll push across the line. This is going to be lap 13, so this is going to be the last one. A 33.5, so we're just losing a tenth a lap currently. That's probably based on tyre wear. Even though the fuel load is getting lighter, the tyre wear is going to be the most important factor. Degradation of the tyres is going to be intense on the fronts because we're just going to keep pushing them. We won't get a full lap time on this one, we'll just get the in lap. 2 tenths down on our fastest possible lap there. But let's get in, let's go and do the process as quickly as we can. What's the car in front? Is it going to be the Mitzi? It looks like it's two of them, Mitzi and the Renault. Mr. Netto. I'm looking at my drink and I'm thinking I need you, and thankfully it's pit lane time. Now if we missed the pit it wouldn't be a major problem, we wouldn't suffer greatly because it's just an extra lap, and we'd probably need less fuel as well. But we'd be stationary longer in the pit stop, so... Oh, Mr. Evo was just making room for us there. He's our stable mate. Needs to go in behind the Cayman. There we go, into the pit lane. Flying in. We're going to take the hards and we're going to take 13 laps of fuel. Just looking at the time there, we're 40 seconds ahead. So I anticipate us being somewhere in the region of 13 to 15 seconds behind the leaders as we exit the pit. Now what you can't do with this car is put wide tyres, wide wheels on. You can't widen the stance, but you can put wide tyres on. You can actually put a rear valance on that has a version of mud flaps on the rear axle. What we realise is this is tremendously slow. We did give ourselves a target of 20 minutes. We're actually a minute off that. 39 minutes just ticked. So we don't know whether we're actually going to be on target to complete the amount of laps we need to complete. Let's go lap 11, 12. Let's go to 13. And Mr. Fernandez pits at the same time. He's on 41% of fuel. We're in third place. We're ahead of an Austria. He's coming up on our right hand side. There he is, he's behind us. We've managed to beat him out. That's tremendous, folks. That's a massive advantage for this race. A massive advantage. Because we're quicker than him and he's not going to pass us. So we can break him at this point. We can absolutely crush his heart and mind. we could actually send him absolutely nutso, because he might just come off the pace. He's still got Mr. Miazano and Breyer to overtake, and if he follows us, he's got a chance of doing it. But what we're going to do is attempt to just drop him in our wake and see if it really messes with his mojo. Look at that, we're well away from him. He is 4 laps into his stint. This is our first lap of 13. We're not going to get a compliant time with this to see if we're still on the 33s, but I want to be on the 33s. If we can be on the 33s every lap. Mr. Breyer's just hit the pits. Not forgetting we were 40 seconds ahead when we went into the pits. Mr. Miazano is the next critical one to pit. Mr. Nostra is just a second behind us. He's not quite broken yet. He's closing in on us in the braking zone. But it's the psychological factor that we came out in front of him, and he thought he might have the legs to get us, but he didn't push hard enough. The overcut, well, the undercut for him wasn't going to work, was it? We need to be pulling out 2 seconds a lap on this boy. We didn't do it that first out lap, did we? Brand new tyres probably aren't as good as the original set. Let's hope they're even and there's no manufacturing issues. 1.63 seconds, 1.7, 1.8. Let's push on. I can see another back marker there, unless that's Miazano in the McLaren. He is down to only 3 seconds ahead. It is him. Still 1.8 seconds ahead, so we're only gaining a second at a time. But what I'm hoping that is Inostra's pushing his battery and he's going to have to back off and conserve. We're at the halfway point of his pit window. He's actually catching on us up there. I need to change into 6th gear much earlier. But we're back into the 133s, which is epic. Keeping ourselves in the 33s is a phenomenal task. Running consecutive fast laps, but knowing we've got the tyres underneath us that are going to last the 13 laps. That's the principle. If we'd have gone to the 17, the tyres would have been dead at the end of the stint. We can actually have decent tyres all the way by doing a split strategy. 20 minutes. Here's Arno, my man. Let's see if we can drag you up this back straight. Just being very aware that there is another car in front of you. We've got the legs on you, son. He gave me a tap just to let me know. Just a friendly rivalry tap. Don't mind that. Mr. Van der Heuvel. We just managed to recover his position whilst we went to the pits. But he has lost out to the Audi TT, hasn't he? Up into 7th gear. Miazano stayed ahead of Nostra. We're 2.6 seconds clear of Miazano now. Just waiting for Nostra to make the pass, and it will give us the real indicator of where we are. 3 seconds ahead. The question is of whether Inostra's going to come after us. We know he's got a pit, but his pit stops are marginally quicker than ours, probably some 12-15 seconds. Now we're on the lightest fuel load we've had of the race so far with tyres at this point, so we've probably got 3-4 laps on our previous stint of good tyres. So at this point, folks, we can really hammer it. by having a purple sector, first sector, we've got the opportunity to push on 6 seconds ahead of Miazano. With Nostra not overtaking Miazano yet. He was only a couple of seconds behind him. Is Nostra broken? Have we knocked him? Has he given up the race for dead? If he can't win it, does he not want to push on? We just put in a 1:32.998, folks. That was a tremendous lap. I didn't see that. Almost improved on our lap time, on our personal best, on our fastest lap for the race. 7.7 seconds ahead. Almost a 32 again, a 33.3, which is where we want to be. Keep the pressure on. Inostra's now ahead, 8 seconds ahead we are. He's got past Miazano. We got a bit of a slide on there, that because we changed down, allowing the body to shift weight backwards and forwards, left to right. Is this the Audi TT of Mr. Mahi again? Mahi, Maha, I don't know. Is it just Ma, no E? Don't know. Let's just go with what we think it is, Mahi. I could do a bit of research probably and find out. Thank you, give me the apex, that's the way. I missed it though. Happy days. And the Genesis is in front of us, 8.8 seconds ahead of Nostra. On to lap 18, so 2 more laps. Nostra's pitting again, and I'd like 15 seconds on him when he goes to the pits. Gonna see if I can cut in tight. No, he's cutting tight. I'm going wide and round him then. Excuse me. 9.4. 9.5, 1:33.4. Let's keep the pressure on. Oh, we might get a penalty for that. That's our first mistake of the day. Almost a second down we wasted there. We've got to make some of that back up. We don't want to drop to the 34s, we want to keep everything 33. Where can we make that time up? I've hit the apex of that corner as well. Oh, I don't want to be doing this. Not now. We're demonstrating how fast we can actually go in this car. There's a minute, that's probably the best part of nearly 2 seconds down. I'll be really disappointed if this is 1:35. Now what I noticed about these cars with the turbocharger, there's 3 turbochargers available to this car, the low, the mid and the high, as with everyone mostly, but the low has the highest PP rating. Medium as the middle and the high as the lowest, as the lowest PP. It's quite bizarre. That was a 1:34.4, so we lost an entire second for that slapping of the wall in the first sector. So we didn't manage to pull out that extra second that we wanted to. That would have put us at 14.1 ahead at this point of the race. We want it to be at 15 in a lap's time, but see if we can make up some time. We've gone purple again, a great response. See if we can put in a fastest lap just to give us that 15 seconds. On the premise that Nostra is fighting all sorts of psychological battles, knowing he's got this lost. 14.6 ahead. 14.9, 15.1. We're making great strides. He's stuck behind somebody, I think. 15.6, 16.1. 16.5. That was great timing. It was great timing of the fact he's got stuck behind somebody. 17.6, that's brilliant. Let's see if we can put in a 33 as well. If we can drop in a 33, that's just going to help us. 18 seconds ahead. Change up to 6th early, gives the push up the hill, and then it gets over the top. 17.7. A 33.027. That's still not a bad lap. We've got to push on now. We've got another 5 laps, 6 laps to do. Inostra's into the pit. He always seems to get into the pits as we get into that first corner. We don't want to waste any time. We had a bit of a slide through there. Pushing these front tyres extremely hard, and it's a lots of pitting time. Look, plenty of people going in on the hard tyres, so we're gonna, there's probably a bit of a chain formed going into the pits and probably coming out the pits. Lots of people on similar fuel levels. So that's changed the rankings a bit. Suswillow up to 2nd, Boudoir in 3rd, Inostra in 4th, Breyer in 5th. Coming up on the back of the Viper of Mr. Portilla, I would guess. "26 minutes of the race remaining." There's going to be all sorts of calamitous happenings coming out the pits, I would suggest. We're going to come across a bunch of cars. There's one coming out the pit lane now. That's Mr. Pounder in the Bugatti Veyron. See if Portilla's going to move over to the left or right and let us go. He has. Gear seems to work well in there. Mr. Pounder's going to go wide and leave us the inside line. Well done, sir. Don't run me wide. I'm going to just lean on you, my friend, just to let you know. I'd rather be leaning on you than you swing out right and batter me. Seconds in the lead, ahead of Mr. Suswillow. We just slid through the braking point there. Not fabulous that. That'll mean we've dropped another second. That'll be another 1:34, I would suggest. We don't want that to be though. We've got Boudoir up there in 3rd place. Look, Inostra's just going to start to chase him down. Don't know where we are in terms of half a lap. We don't seem to be making much time ground on Suswillow. 48 seconds ahead, and we are 3 laps away from our pit stop. Come on, Lambo, just give it up. Thank you. 49 seconds ahead, and we're a 10th down at the end of the first sector. If we can go in a minute ahead of anybody, we've got a chance of coming out the final pit stop in the front of the race, which will be tremendous. You know what I mean? We've almost led start to finish, just 3 or 4 laps where we went in the lead. Now 50 seconds ahead. Inostra's still not past Boudoir, which is great to know. 23 minutes 35 seconds remaining. I think we're going to be well down on our time gain at the 40-minute mark for the pit stop. be stopping with an empty tank, and we're going to be filling 12 full laps. We're going to push for 12 to try and get that 38th lap in. It'd be tremendous if we could get the 38th lap. If we could get the 39th, we're only going to fall over the finish line. All 33s the laps, that's brilliant. We managed to recover that. Well done, son. Mr. Van der Hoel again. I think we've genuinely lapped him again, though, or he's pitted himself and he's just put himself into a second lap scenario. Do not be a penalty. I will flip my lid if that's a penalty. 133s are very valuable at this moment in time. More laps. .56 seconds ahead. Inostra's got past Boudoir, he's just got Suswillow to go. That was a 1:33.9. .8 seconds in the lead. Suswillow's gone to the pits, releasing Inostra. So we now have the 1 minute lead. He's just pulling a little bit of that back. 59.5 on a split time. The front tyres are just starting to show their life. Inostra's still not giving up. He's still fighting hard. There's a chance of this long pit stop at the end of the next lap that we will be really fighting hard to get out in front of them. We're going to have around about a minute stop. I would guess a 1:33.5. That's brilliant. Mr. Brooks, the Canadian, in the Alpha 155, dropping sparks as he enters the corner. Is he going to move for us? Are we going to have trouble? No, he's going to move. He's going to cut back on us though. He's got four-wheel drive. He's a right little mover and a shaker. He got out of the way there though. Just had to lean on him a little bit. I didn't really want to, but we had to. We'll show a bit of battle scars after this race, won't we, I think? Got a little gaggle in front of us that we need to overtake before we pit. Mr. Yamanaka expected you to be further up the tree, but he's had to give way. He's not in a battle with that car in front of him, he's lapping him. So that's the Mr. Lim lap twice. 101 ahead, 59.6. This is our pit in, let's not forget. We haven't got enough fuel to do another lap. Mr. Gallo, first time we meet this session. I'm just coming round to lap you, sir. Well done. So we're finishing with a little bit of fuel. Oh my lord, I took that a bit narrow, didn't I? Will I get a pit penalty for that? Hard tyres. I'm going to refuel to 12 laps. We got 4% of fuel left when we went in. 18 minutes, 26 seconds left. So the question remains, is it 29, 28 or 27 laps? wonder, he says. I wonder. We don't know. It's 1 minute 33 seconds a lap. If we do that times 12, that's 12 minutes plus 6 is 18. And we're filling up. So all of this time that we're filling up on is that valuable last lap time. 12 laps on 26 is 28, is 38. The question is, look how fill it slowly, filling, slowly. My Lord. We're away. It's showing 1 minute 10 ahead. 6 seconds 25, 4 seconds. We've got 2 cars behind us battling, but we're 4 seconds ahead of Inostra. He's got to pit again. He's going to pit again on lap 30. And I don't think he has a choice about how long his pit stop lasts. It's a battery change, so a battery change is a battery change. You can't change a battery for a half a battery. But let's see where we go. 5 seconds up. On 5.8 seconds in the lead, lap 27. We're going to close out this lap and then we've got to get straight on with the 33s. It would be nice with Mr. Healy in front of us in 14th place. The second time I passed you, sir, I think that's still you just lapped the once. I think you'd unlapped yourself at that point. 6th gear early on the cusp of that bend. Let's go then. Even the out laps relatively fast to 135. Let's get these down into the 33s again. Now folks, if you're a non-TCer and you're watching these, this car is so good you've got a chance of getting these lap times down a bit more. You're doing 30 something laps in this race. If you're a second quicker than me per lap, you can be 30 seconds quicker. Is there a chance at that point then you can do the extra lap because we're approximately 30 seconds short of a full lap? Don't know. I need to get these down into the 129s and I don't think I can do that. I'm not superhuman. Now the other question is, could we run mediums? Oh, I think I might have pulled a penalty there. Don't be a penalty. 59.5. There wasn't a penalty, thankfully. 9.7 seconds ahead of Mr. Inostra. 8 seconds in the lead. We've got a 33.6, good place to start. We've got the lightest fuel load, only 12 laps of fuel, so we've got 10%, well, whatever percentage is less per lap. I'm not doing the maths. 13 laps, it's probably about 8.8% a lap, something like that. So let's just call it around 10. A 10% less fuel weight. I'm not doing maths, no way. And it immediately tells, look, we have a purple sector in the first sector saying we are rapido, and then I blew it by putting 2 tyres on the curb. Ah, Mr. Konomos, I don't remember seeing you at all in the early stages of the race. Probably just going to push you a little bit wide, sir, I apologise, but I was taking the race in line. 11 seconds ahead of Mr. Inostra. He's not given up, you know, but he's got a pit stop, and he's got a pit stop of 30 seconds, so that'll put us 4 seconds ahead. We're on the last stint now, so We're going all the way to the line at this point. I want a 32. Just don't know whether we're going to get a 32 with that mistake back in just at the start of sector 2. Into 6th early, pushing up the hill with a great front, the torque at the bottom end of the engine. It's a 33.1, so we're on our way. Braking in a straight line as much as possible, flattening out the apex. 3rd early, using the grunt of the torque up the hill. 11.7 seconds ahead. Who's in front of us now? Mr. Fernandez, who was quick in the early part of the race, and then Mr. Van der Heuvel. So has he pitted again? Or is that because we pitted and brought him back in front of us? Going round the outside and going through the middle of them. We just saved that, that was alright. We didn't do so bad. 13 seconds ahead now. So let's have a rundown of the list. We've got in Austria in 2nd place, Miazano 3rd, Beauvoir 4th, Swillow in 5th, Gallo in 6th, Brooks in 7th, Yamanaka in 8th. How far can we lap up the field? We've already lapped Gallo, or tried to lap him, but he's probably got that back now that we've pitted again. I think the McLaren is the car to try, Mr. Miazano's car. The NSX, not entirely sure that that'll go the difference or have the grunt to do it. Not like this bad boy. This is an absolute flyer. There's our first 34 of the day, and that was caused by getting stuck behind. Inostra's gone to the pits then. I'd forgotten that was approaching. I was more baffled by the 34. We've got just under 11 minutes left to do 8 laps. I don't think we're going to get that done, folks. I think we've got to push on so hard that I think time's just running out. I think we're going to be in the 36, maybe 37 laps. I think we're going to be on the cusp of getting that done. 6 laps is 9 minutes 30 odd, 9 minutes 40. So the 7th lap is going to be 11, bang on 11 somewhere. Going to go out round Mr. Mahi. Mr. Cruz we haven't seen in a long time. So we're just put in 11th place. Just about to put a lap on 11th place. Am I going round the outside? See if we can go wide and cut back tight. No, we're going to have to go round him. There we go. We didn't lose much time there. We probably ran a couple of extra meters because of the width. 46 seconds ahead of Miazano. Nostra comes out of the pits in 4th place ahead of Suswillow. That was another 33.6. It's good to get back on it. Just get them laps ticking through. The sun's going down now, so the track's going to be cooling down. Although in Switzerland, because I believe that's where we are, the evening sun drops away quite quickly and it gets quite cold when the evening chill comes around at altitude. That didn't feel like the best of corners. 2/10 down on the fastest lap. Don't think, well, we've had our 32 as a fastest lap. It would have been nice to somewhere in the 31s, but again I don't think that's going to be possible with our setup the way we're running. As we come off that corner, it's quite a popular place to give an update. 49 seconds almost ahead of Miazano. Nostra is not yet ahead of Beauvoir. We've got a 58 time, so they could be close to a 32 this one. Mr. Lim in the Odyssey. I wonder if he's going to just give us room and allow us to take him. There he is. Make these gear changes swift and smart. Early into 6th, pushing up the hill. 49.8 seconds. A 32.913, fastest lap of the race in the last stint. Still making progress all the way to the end. Lap 33. 7 minutes 50 seconds to go. I'm doing the maths. Are we going to get lap 37 or are we going to get lap 38? 0.3 of a second up on our fastest spur split. Oh my, we're getting faster. Let's not blow it. Let's keep the pressure on, boys and girls. If we can see the potential 38, which my head is doing rough maths, 38's a thing. 52 seconds in the lead. How far up are we going to be on this timing sector here, sector 2? It's purple by 0.124, a whole tenth and a bit. I can't reach the gear lever. Oh, we lost the time there. I turned the wheel before I chunked down to first gear. Oh, that's a shame. Let's hope we haven't just completely turned that 32 into a 34. We are 54 seconds in the lead on lap 33, going into lap 34. It was a 33.06.86, so not a massive disaster, but that was enough to just upset the apple cart, unfortunately. 5 laps to go in fuel, which says lap 39. 6 minutes 11 seconds left. We're on lap 34. 6 minutes says that there's 4 more laps to do. We're a quarter of a second up on our previous best again. See if we can get a repeat hit on that and see if we can get that last corner right. Now, is this going to be Mr. Gallo again? Have we caught Gallo before the end? Just to put the extra lap on him. It would be nice to be able to. Getting the blue flag so he knows we're coming. 57 seconds ahead. We're going through the prime time of the tyres, and the tyres gone past prime. Yeah, 33.4. We've just got to maintain these laps now. It's Mr. Pounder in the Bugatti Veyron. Coming round for another lapping. He's gone wide. He likes to run us hard and fast. He likes to keep us honest. I'm just going to let him know who's boss. Because we are boss at this point. We're only 1 tyre in the wrong place away from disaster and doom though, aren't we? And this will be Mr. Breyer. Mr. Breyer, who's casually fallen down the rankings with his pit stop strategy. That hasn't worked out well for him, has it? 59.139, a quarter of a second slower than our PB. Mr. Breyer in 9th place, so anybody we overtake after Mr. Breyer, we're putting laps on them. They've done well to stay a lap ahead though. Lap 36 with 3 minutes 32 to go. So it looks like, if I'm doing the maths correctly, we're going to get the 38th lap. The question is, are we going to get enough in and that excites me. If we've done 36, are we going to get enough laps in to beat our previous best in the Radical? Another purple sector, folks. That is absolutely tremendous to be doing purple sectors some 10 laps into your stint. Really sliding then, using the brakes. 59 seconds ahead. Inostra's just keeping us honest at this point. He's running the same sort of lap times as we are. The last lap time was a 32.994. That's tremendous. Blue flags are waving. Not sure who this is going to be. They're at the bottom of the hill though. They've just gone up. I saw them flash off to the top left-hand corner. It's not going to be Yamanaka, I don't think. He's gone over the crest already. A 33.5. We've got quite a gaggle in front of us, to be honest. We're on lap 37 with 1 minute 38 to go. We're going to bust that 38 laps. But I don't think we're going to have 30 odd seconds to spare, are we? We've actually got an extra lap of fuel. Which is a shame. I think we needed that extra lap of fuel to get us round. So there's two things that could happen here, folks. We could potentially beat our fastest previous event by finishing 37 laps or 37 laps faster and getting to the 38th lap, or finish the racing full. Now I've put enough fuel in to get us to the end of lap 38, it seems. And by putting that enough fuel in, it should get us to the end of the lap. Now if we'd have not put that extra end of lap fuel in, would we have been stationary lease to allow us to get us to the end of that next lap? I don't know. I don't think that's good English either, but there we go. 37 laps, 101 in front, 19 seconds remaining, 17 seconds as we go across the line. Let's just keep pushing on, get us to the end. We're catching Mr. Yamanaka now. So on the very last lap of the race, we can be lapping 8th place, which would be tremendous. Felt a little bit of hesitation in the throttle there. Maybe traction control cutting in. The back tyres are now just starting to... Well, they've not really got any wear, have they? We could have actually done the entire race on one set of back tyres, I think. Mr. Yamanaka's not wanting to let us go. He's having to at this point. Is that Neto? It is. Our teammate in the standard car. We're just going to dispatch him at this point. 102 in front on lap 38. We've got plenty of fuel to get to the end. We put in 133s for every lap except for one 134. And I think that's a tremendous effort from this car. Here we go then. Take the plaudits, take the hit. Inostra's finished already. Miazano's just taken the line, so we were almost at a point for overtaking them. Here we come round. We don't want this to be a 34, we want this to be a 33 as well. It was a 33.8. There we go. 38 laps done. The same as our previous best. But did we finish the lap faster than we did last time? Are we faster than the Radical? Well, let's have a look. 101.17 to complete the race. Lapped everybody down to... Well, everybody got a lap on, but we lapped everybody down to 10th place once. And from 10th place onwards they were lapped twice. 3 times from 18th place. Mr. Lim was the first person to get lapped 3 times. Let's have a look. You see the car now in its full glory with those stunning wheels on. Thought they looked the part. There she goes, crossing the line to start the race. And let's quickly have a look at the ranking boards. Now, what do you think it is? Do we think the Radical was actually faster? 6:19.28 was the PP. The Radical remains the faster of the two. Unless it doesn't give us it because we've already got a car on 38. We'd have to go to 39. Well, that's the car we've got to find. Well done, folks. Thank you very much for joining us today. It's appreciated. Thanks for liking, subscribing. And we'll see you on the next one. Take care. All the best. Bye now.